Good morning, students. Hope all of you are doing well. So, in my last week already, I started the new chapter force and friction. So today I will discuss the non-contact forces. But first of all, we have to recall those previous things, whatever I discussed already in my previous video. So students, what is force? So in our everyday life, we often have to push or pull object in order to move them. For example, a door has to be pushed to open it, and a box has to be pulled to lift it up. Okay, so we may also apply force that may not always end up in moving things, such as sitting on a chair or laying on a wall. Okay, so a push or a pull acting on an object is called force. Okay, so you see here the definition is given here. We can define force as a push or pull acting upon an object as a result of an interaction. Okay, so this is called force. So if in your if I ask you what is force, so then you have to write this answer: a push or pull acting upon an object as a result of an interaction. So next part is in our in this chapter is the what is the effect of force. So which cases the force can affect on an object. Okay, so that effects of force. So a force cannot be seen, but its effect can be seen or felt. So some effects of, so we cannot see force. Force cannot be seen, but its effect can be seen or felt. Some effects of force are given below. So you see here, a force can move a stationary object. So a force can move an object at rest. So if one object is in rest, that force, when we are applying a force, the force can move an object at rest. For example, a football starts moving when it is kicked. Okay, and what is the next effect? A force can stop a moving object. So a force can stop a moving object if it is applied in the direction opposite to the motion. So if any object is moving, so that have a direction. So if you apply the force opposite to the direction or opposite to the direction opposite to the motion, that force can stop a moving object. So for example, a football being stopped by a goalkeeper. Okay, so what is the number third effect? A force can change the speed of a moving object. So a force can change the speed of a moving object, that is, force can make the object go either slower or faster. For example, if you are walking with a trolley, applying a force in the direction of its movement can increase its speed, whereas decreasing force on it can slow it down. Okay, so this is the number third effect of force. Now the force can change the direction of a moving object. So number 4, you see that a force can change the direction of a moving object. So force can change the direction of a moving object or direction of the motion of the object. For example, in the game of cricket, the direction of moving ball can be changed by applying a force on it through a bat. Okay, see this picture, how it's changed the direction of the motion of an object. Number 5, force can change the shape and size of an object. So force can change the shape of an object but not the mass. So please you remember one thing: force can change the shape and size, but it cannot change the mass. For example, the shape of a dough changes when we apply force on it while making chapatis, but the mass does not change. So force can change the shape and size of an object, but it cannot change the mass of an object. Okay, so these things already I discussed in my previous video. And what is the type of force? Force can be classified into two main types: contact force and non-contact force. So muscular force and frictional force, these are the two non-contact or contact force. Yes, it is a contact force. So contact force examples are muscular force, frictional force. So today I will discuss about non-contact force. So here you see that non-contact force. So at first you have to know what is non-contact force, because contact force, what is that, already we learned. So non-contact is the opposite of contact force. So there are some forces that do not require any physical contact. So already we learned in contact force that actually we need a physical contact with the object, but there are some forces that do not require any physical contact act on an object. So they can work from a distance as well. So we can apply that force from a distance. So they can work from a distance as well. Such forces are called non-contact forces or action at a distance force. So if I ask you what is the another name of a non-contact force, that time you have to write it is also called a action at a distance. So non-contact force is also called a action at a distance force. So if in your if I ask you one question, what is the another name of a non-contact force, that time you have to write it, the another name of a non-contact forces is action at a distance forces. For example of non-contact forces, so contact forces example we learn muscular force and frictional force is a contact forces. But what is the examples of non-contact forces? Non-contact forces are gravitational force, magnetic force and electrostatic force. So gravitational force, all objects in the universe attract each other with a force. So in our universe, all around what of the object is that attract to each other are called with a force that is called gravitational force. Gravitational force can be defined as a universal force of attraction, so that exists between any two objects that have mass. Okay, so that gravitational force will be occur only that time if that there have to have two objects and that have a mass. Okay, and it is applicable in the universe, whole universe. So that's why it is a universal force of attraction. So for example, your body has a certain mass. So we know that we have a certain mass, so it exerts a gravitational force on all other objects around you, but this force is not visible. So at first, as before I told you, force cannot be seen, but its effect can be seen. Okay, so it exerts a gravitational force on all other objects around you, but this force is not visible, but it is too strong enough to attract the every nearby object towards you. So however, the gravitational force exerted by the earth is very strong. This force attracts all objects on the earth towards its center. So it can attract all objects to the center of the earth. Okay, so this is why all objects on the earth stay on the ground. That's why actually the gravitational force is also acts on us. That's why we are staying on the ground. Otherwise, we can fly. If you jump it, then we can fly. That is why all objects on the earth stay on the ground. So also when an object is thrown up, so if you take any pen and throw it up, so it always falls down because of that gravitational force. Okay, so for example, so in my hand I have a one whitener. So if I throw it up, so that see it's fall down, it falls back on the ground, on the table. So because of that, so here actually we are consider this table as a ground. So if I throw here also, then it can falls back on the ground. Okay, so because of that gravitational force. So also when an object is thrown up, it always falls back on the ground. This shows that the earth's gravitational force attracts an object towards it even when it is not in contact with the ground. So see that's how that whitener falls back to the ground. So that whitener is not attached with the, not contact with the ground, but still is fall down because of that gravitational force of attraction, gravitational force of attraction. Okay, so the gravitational force exerted the earth is called the gravity. So the gravitational force exerted by the earth means how earth that applying a gravitational force to exert anything, so that is actually called the gravity. So gravitational force always attracts. So if I ask you that what is that nature of the gravitational force, it attracts or repels? So your answer should be gravitational force always attract. So this information is very much important. So how gravitational force, so up to actually in our daily life, when we throw something, throw a ball, throw a pen, throw a pencil, rubber, eraser, whatever, so that time we said that always falls back to the ground, on the ground. So but we don't know what is the name of that force. So today we learn that is the name of that force is the gravitational force of attraction. So the gravitational force exerted by the earth is called gravity, and gravitational force is always attract, and it is applicable in the whole universe. Okay, so now is that second type of non-contact force is the magnetic force. And one question here also is very important. If in your question is asked about like this gravitational force is what type of force, it is a contact force or it is a non-contact force. So there that time also you have to write this is a non-contact force. So up to this so many question is here. What is the another name of a non-contact force? Action at a distance forces. And what is how to gravitational force acts on an object, and what is the name? The gravitational force exerted by the earth is called dash. So gravity, your answer should be gravity. And gravitational force always is attracts. So these are many information is here. So please you read properly and try to understand, and you when you do it and you do any such some simple activity, so then you can understand very clearly. Okay, so next is the magnetic force. A magnet is a piece of iron or other material that has a property to attract metals such as iron, nickel, cobalt, and from a distance. So actually I don't have a magnet, but if you have any sometimes that is available in pencil box or refrigerator. So you know that how the refrigerator door when you leave that door, how that refrigerator door is automatically it's closed. So but at a certain distance. Okay, so a magnet is a piece of iron, so or other material that has a property to attract. So magnets very important first property is that property of attraction. Okay, so the property of attract another metal. So how can I understand that is a metal, that is a magnet? So if that any piece of things that attract the another metals, that time we can say that the piece of things is a magnet, because attraction property is not available for any other metal. Is such as this property only present in magnet. Or another property is the direction property. So that's things we will learn in the electromagnetic chapter. When we will start that chapter, that time I will discuss. Okay, but here you have to this you have to learn only these things. The magnet has a property of attraction, and the magnet is a piece of iron or other materials that has a property to attract metals such as iron, nickel, cobalt from a distance. So that's why it is a non-contact force, because we already learned that any work that from a distance as well, and the forces are called non-contact force. So without do not require any physical contact, that but that some forces are act on an object, that is called actually non-contact force. So that's why magnetic forces is a non-contact force. So without touching anything, the magnet can attract another metals. Okay, for the force of attraction between the magnet and the metal is called magnetic force. So what is gravitational force we learn. So now is that things is that what is the magnetic force? The force of attraction. So this is the another type of attraction, force of attraction between the magnet and the metal. So it is very much easy to remember. The force of attraction between the magnet and the metal is called the magnetic force. Okay, So here I actually have some one activity. So let's see. To verify that a magnet attracts iron object from a distance, so for doing this activity we require one magnet and some alpins or iron pins or safety pins like that, which are made up of another metal. So what is the procedure? So bring the bar magnet. So this is called actually bar magnet. So it has two poles, north pole and south pole. So bring the bar magnet slowly towards the pins. Then what you will observe? So observation you can see, as the magnet is brought closer to the pins, they get attracted towards the magnet from a distance. So how that magnet can attract towards the magnet from a distance? So that from this experiment we can prove that this shows that a magnet attracts iron object from a distance. So see that how that magnet is attract these iron pins at a distance. So from this activity we can understand that the magnets attract iron object from a distance. Okay, so now is the magnetic force. See, magnetic force comes into play even through the magnet, and the iron pins are not in direct contact with each other. Okay, so magnetic force come into play even through a magnet. So magnetic force comes into play through a magnet. So through the magnet the magnetic force is applied. So the iron pins are not in direct contact with each other. So magnetic force is a non-contact force. So here also this answer is very much important. If asked about why magnetic force is a non-contact force, so you have to write the answer of a because of the magnetic force comes into play even through a magnet, and the iron pins are not in a direct contact with each other. So magnetic force is a non-contact force, because we already learned that there are some forces that do not require any physical contact to act on an object, that they can work as from a distance as well. So that's why that type of forces are called non-contact forces or action at a distance forces. So next is that the magnet can only attract iron objects. It also attracts and repel other magnets. Okay, so magnet can attract iron objects. Okay, so that time always attract, but the magnet can also attract and repels another magnets. Because of that depends on that pole. Pole means, already I told you, the magnet has two poles, north pole and south pole. When the opposite poles always attract each other, and that if we put two magnets and clumps closer to each other, that time you can notice one thing, that like poles always repel each other and unlike poles always attract each other. So that is the another property of a magnet, but we will learn more in magnetism chapter. So not here, only these things you learn here, this information, but we will learn about magnet more many things in last chapter, I think, the magnetism chapter. Okay, so there I will discuss the more about magnet. Okay, and hope I will show you how magnesis looks like. So next is that electrostatic force. To understand this force, let us begin with activity 6. Okay, so how electrostatic force occurs and how it acts, so that things is very much you can understand by doing this practical. Okay, so you take one plastic scale and take some small piece of paper. So what you will see, so you see that to show the presence of electrostatic force, for required materials a plastic ruler or scale and a few bits of paper. So when you take those papers, you try to take a very small paper. Okay, and procedure: put a few bits of paper on a wooden desk, take the plastic rubber and rub it few times against your dry hair. So you take that plastic ruler and try to rub your dry hair few times. Okay, then when you suddenly, after rubbing that, bring it close to the piece of paper, you can notice one thing, that piece of paper suddenly jump up and stick to the ruler. Okay, So that actually the attraction between the bits of paper and the plastic ruler is due to the electrostatic force between the ruler and the bits of paper. Okay, so this practical this activity I want you can do it at your home, and through query and through email, you just tell me it will works or not. Okay, so you please do it. Take the piece of paper and take a plastic ruler. I think these two things is very much available at your home, so you please do this activity and let me know it will works or not. Okay, so next is the wall objects have two types of electric charges. So like magnet there have actually two charges, positive charge and negative charge. In magnet have two poles, north pole and south pole. Like this way the electric charges have two opposite electric charges. The object have two types of electric charges. One is positive charges and another is negative charges. So generally these charges are equal in number, so they balance each other out and the objects appear to be electrically neutral. So that number of electric charges, number of positive charges and number of negative charges will be equal, so that's why the object appear to be electrically neutral. When the numbers of positive charges and negative charges will be equal, that time we can say that object appear to be electrically neutral. However, due to various reasons, when an object has more negative charges than positive charges, it becomes negatively charged. Similarly, an object with more positive charges than negative charges becomes positive charge. So objects that have opposite charges attract each other, while objects that have similar charges repel each other. So activity 6 already, these things already I discussed. Okay, so what is the electrostatic force? So the force exerted by a charged body on another charged or uncharged body is known as electrostatic force. So this is the definition of electrostatic force. So the force exerted by a charged body on another charged or uncharged body is known as electrostatic force. Okay, so hope all of you can understand what is the non-contact forces. So here actually the how to measure force. So SI unit of force is Newton, and Sir Isaac Newton's name, according to the name of the Isaac Newton, the SI unit of force is Newton, and it is force is also measured as kilogram force. 1 kilogram force is equal to 9.8 or 10 Newton approximately. And here's a few question is given here. Check your progress. You please do all this question answer, and in my next video I will discuss about this question answer. Okay, hope all you can understand, and thank you students. Do please in your classwork copy, and next video I will discuss all those question answer. Okay, and please you don't mixed up what is the SI unit of force. So SI unit of force is Newton, and how to write, you see this because this is a name of the scientist, so that's why when you write the full things you write like this way, and when you short form you write capital N.